After some time of thinking about it, you finally stepped out of your shell and decided to take boxing lessons. Congratulations, welcome to the club. With that being said, maybe you're nervous about your first couple classes. Maybe you're thinking, oh, what happens if I mess up? Or maybe stepping into the gym is intimidating. Good thing that you found this video, because in today's episode, I'm going to give you 3 tips on tackling your first couple boxing classes. Tip number 1 is here for a reason, so pay attention. It's to be coachable. Be a coachable student. Nothing is going to make a coach not want to coach you more than somebody that disrespects their advice, someone that doesn't take in account that all the knowledge they have and wants to plunder right over it like they haven't been doing this for a while, and ignoring their commands. When they say go, just go. When they say do this, don't give them an excuse. You're paying to be there, you're paying to learn, and you're paying for the discipline that comes with boxing and combat sports. You're paying for that environment. You're paying your coaches so that you can learn, so that you can get better. You wouldn't be paying somebody if you didn't think that you could learn from them, or you didn't want to know the knowledge that they have, and you didn't want to know the drills and have them teaching you. It's either one or the other. You can't walk in and be like, oh, I really want to learn from you, but then every time he gives you constructive criticism, you're like, oh, well, the reason, I don't like doing that, or that's not my style. Listen to your coach. If your coach is speaking, then listen. If your coach says go, then go. To make it simple, don't waste your coach's time. Don't waste your own time. Being coachable revolves around trusting in your coach, trusting in his guidance, trusting in his systems. If you don't trust them, or if you think you might be in like a McDojo kind of scenario, then maybe you need to find another gym. It could be your coach, it could be you, who knows? But if you can't put your full trust into him, especially if you're looking to fight and you want him in your corner, then you're in the wrong gym. Remember, you don't always have to understand why you're doing something. You might be doing a drill that you think is pointless, but just do the drill. And just do it the way that your coach tells you to do it. Because 9 times out of 10, there's a really good reason behind that he's either not explaining to you or you're not picking up yet. You do the drill a little bit and then something will improve. Something, I can almost promise it. And then you'll be like, oh, that's why I did that. That's what caused me to get better. Now there is a flip side to this coin. Your coach needs to be able to back up his reasoning. Whether it's his resume, his other fighters that are in the gym that you've seen him grow over time. I'm not saying to fully just blindly follow any coach. They need to earn your respect as well. But if it's the first time walking into the gym, do what you're told. Be coachable, be respectful, and actively be listening. Being coachable is not talking when your coach is talking. Being coachable is not whining and griping every time you're told to do something. Being coachable is not arguing with your coach. Being coachable is believing in their system, believing in their guidance and their knowledge, and actively respecting that, taking it in, and using it for your own boxing game. That's enough on being coachable, because I could go down a list of examples of why people are and why people aren't and whatever else. The premise behind it: be respectful, know why you're there. Don't waste anybody's time, right? Tip number 2 is a little bit easier said than done, but it's just to relax a little. It's your first boxing class, so nobody should be in there judging you that you can't throw a jab or you can't use your feet properly. You're there to learn and progress and get better, and if it's your first couple classes, you probably don't know much of anything about boxing, other than what you saw on TV or maybe watched on YouTube. But people get so in their heads about everybody else watching them in the gym that it starts to affect their own training. They're thinking about them instead of what they're doing. You're gonna walk into a gym and there's gonna be pretty good boxers in there. There's gonna be guys that have been doing it since they were kids, people that are dedicated to the craft. But what aren't they doing? They're not gonna sit there and watch you and judge you, or at least they shouldn't be, because if they're in there to train and they're judging you, they can only do one at a time. It's your coach's job to focus on what you are doing. It's your coach's job to focus on what they are doing. It's your job to focus on what you're doing, and it's their job to focus on what they are doing. It's not your job to focus on them. It's not their job to focus on you. If they're sitting over there judging you because of it's your first couple days and you can't do this or you can't do that, whatever. They're taking time away from their own training to be able to sit and poke and say something. But with my experience in boxing, People aren't judging you. If you want to come in and learn, they're going to be happy to help, happy to teach, happy to help you progress. A tip inside of a tip here is to be humble. Remember that you're new, you're fresh, you're green, whatever. You don't have a lot of knowledge. You're learning. So seek that wisdom from your coaches. Put in the training, put in the hard work, put in those extra rounds, and you'll be just fine. Where you come into a problem is going to be walking in with an ego, walking in talking about your street fight records, walking in saying that you know that you could whoop this guy, whoop that guy, and it's your first day in the gym. If you're going to be walking around acting like you're top dog, you better be able to back it up a little bit, because somebody is going to want to test you. But that's because you're running your mouth, because you're letting your ego talk. If you're doing that, then I hope you learn a hard lesson. On the flip side of that, you're going in humble, you're going in respectful, and you're going in to learn something. So go in there, get your training in, put in the hard work. Don't half-ass a single thing. Even if you don't want to compete, even if you don't want to go into sparring, don't half-ass anything. It's a waste of time. Just remember that mistakes will be made, lessons are going to be learned, but that's why you're there. And that's why you decided to join the gym in the first place. My final tip for beginner boxers is probably the simplest of them all. Show up 10 to 15 minutes early for every single class. If class says it starts at 7, that means you need to be ready to work at 7. Don't be walking in at 7, putting on your hand wraps, tying your shoes up. Have all that done. Have your wraps on, have your shoes on, get your warm up in, maybe throw a little bit of shadow boxing in there. Do whatever you're able to do before your coach walks in and says, okay, let's start class. Showing up that 10-15 minutes early, not only is that a professional thing to do, but it allows you to get your mind right and allows you to focus on the task at hand and what you're going to be doing in that session. On top of that, it just shows that you're serious about being there, that you're not someone that's just there to half-ass your life away. You're there for a serious commitment. If you're a competition boxer, you better be in there doing that. If you're a recreational boxer, be respectful, get in there early, get your job done, and then go home, get out. That's fine. In this scenario, being on time is the same thing as being late. Being early is your only choice. There you got it, my top 3 tips for new boxers going into their first couple boxing classes. Listen, it's gonna be a little nerve-wracking, you're gonna be nervous, you're gonna have this whole new experience that you're walking into with these hard dogs in there that have been doing it for a while. Just follow the principles that we talked about in this video. Be respectful, be humble, be polite, and put in some hard work, and you're gonna be just fine. Even if you walk in there and you're really bad at throwing a jab, you're really bad at throwing a two, using your footwork, whatever. Your coach could be yelling at you over and over again, but as long as you're putting in the work, as long as you keep trying, people aren't going to give you too much shit. For all my boxers that have been in the gym for a while, leave a comment down below and let me know what your tips are for these new guys that are watching these videos. Maybe give me some of your top things not to do, so they know that too. Make sure to like and subscribe for more boxing tips and insights. And as always guys, thanks for tuning in to Punch Club Media.